All right, man. Joshua Dobbs. He was a practice quarterback on the Lions. A roster late this season. Got signed off the Tennessee Titan roster. He was on Bussin' with the Boys, Taylor Lewan podcast. I forget the other guys. There's a Will Compton on there with him. It's a really good podcast. I actually found it on Facebook, and they have a YouTube podcast as well too. They had one of my favorite football players of all time on there, and Mike Allstott. That was one of my favorites, man. I used to love old Mike Allstott, man, playing fullback and that, getting the ball, running over people. So yeah, I like that. And they had quite a few people on there, man. But they had Joshua Dobbs on there, and he raved about the Lions culture. And one of the things he raved, I think, that really set the tone there was he said that they have a bunch of coaches that were players. And I think, that was by design by Dan Campbell. He came in the night before the second Vikings game. He said the vibe was good. The players was all focused on the right things, and everybody in the building was just focused on the right things for, the Viking game. And, when you have players on the staff, you got to remember, Calvin Johnson visited the Raiders after he retired, and he raved about how the Raiders treated their players and their veteran players in their organization, that he didn't receive that treatment with the Detroit Lions. And obviously that's all he knew was playing for the Detroit Lions. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I get it. They went from a dictatorship in Matt Patricia, who had little or minimum social skills, and that's kind of what you get from most Patriot coaches outside of Dabble. What's his name? The coach up there in Minnesota, who was offensive coordinator for the Vikings. I didn't know he was in New England, but then again, he was an offensive mind, a little bit different. And Brian Dabble or something like that. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but hell of a coach. And he one of the few Patriot coaches that came from up there that actually worked. And you could say Bill O'Brien worked at Penn State for sure. And who were rumors that he could be coming back to be the New England OC, but nonetheless, yeah, you love to hear that. And people who talk about, well, ain't nobody want to come to Detroit. I mean, that's the perception of Detroit teams. But when you have Prince Fielder, Justin Verlander, all those guys, they love being in Detroit. Miguel Cabrera is beloved in Detroit. Isaiah Thomas, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, Ndamukong Suh, Calvin Johnson, Chris Webber. A lot of guys tend to stick around in the city of Detroit. A lot of guys tend to stick around in the city of Detroit and still come here and do their business here. So I think it's more about the organization of the Lions more than the perception about the city of Detroit. I know people have a perception about the city of Detroit, but and there's some nice sections in the city of Detroit, you know what I'm saying? The College Mary Grove district, you know what I'm saying, all the way down to Livernois and in the 8 Mile. I don't think that's considered that district. I forget what Sherwood over there. It's in Rosedale Park. It's a lot of beautiful places in Detroit that they just focus on the bad and the negative areas, which they're rebuilding them. And it's about the city of Detroit taking care of the city of Detroit, and and get back to picking up trash, not allowing people to dump in our communities, taking care of our communities, taking care of our houses, keeping them up. That's what it boils down to. But when you got money, bro, Detroit is, Metro Detroit is the best. You got the best restaurants, the best amenities. You're close to New York. You ain't too far from the South. Close to Canada. It's really, really, really good. And, I think a lot of players that tend to come here, I remember my man's Rob Sims, who's the guard for the Lions. He raved about living here. He loved the fans. Love being here. And I think a lot of people get a misconception about the city of Detroit that, it's so bad. And if you got money, bro, it's an enjoyment to have. It's like living out of town. Once you go out there to Birmingham and Grosse Ile, all the way out there, sometimes you ain't got to come that far. Lathrop Villa, Southfield, all great areas. Rail Oak, they still developing. Westland, I remember you could have a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment in Westland for $400-500, and now it was a developing city. Now it's developed. They got amenities out there. So yeah, it's just you gonna have the best of times, dude. Once you parlay. Now, if you like to be in the hood shit and you like to be in the city and all that type of stuff, then that might be outside of downtown or some parts of downtown, But yeah, I think it get a bad rap, and I think people come here and they love it. They absolutely love it. So, and I'm not surprised that the culture with the Lions have changed like that. That doesn't surprise me because, you know, you went from Matt Patricia, who was running a militant dictatorship, and now, you know, you get a players coach who surrounded himself with former players and former confidants, and of course they understand what it feel like to be sore on Monday. They understand how it feel to manage injuries. They understand how to socialize with players, and a lot of those guys have learned under, you know, other coaching staffs and stuff of that nature. And now you don't know any question about player coach, relationship is, can you establish the authority line? You know, can you get the respect? Can they respect your authority, or are they gonna run over you? And Dan Campbell's already set the line that they're gonna respect his authority. They're gonna respect the coach's authority. The coaches are gonna respect the players, and you know, there you have it. It's a good line there. It's a beautiful line there. So they already, you know, respecting the authority of the, you know, they already got respect for him. It's not where Matt Patricia is ruling with iron fist and he ruling with fear. No, we gonna rule it with, I respect you. We gonna have an open door policy. You know, y'all not gonna break the rules and none. So that's the only thing when you got player coaches in there, is that, can he, you know, with Jim Shorts, he was a player coach, but the players was wild. They was like a whole bunch of, doing what they want to do, not disciplined on the field, had some issues that fell off the field that they kind of put some blood, you know, stains on the organization. They cleaned it up, and you know, that's the only thing. But yeah, of course they get it. They former players, and once you establish the line of respect that I'm still the authority, and you still the player, but we can powwow and have a good time. But when it's time to, you know, be focused and, you know, and get to this football stuff, yeah, we gonna have fun, and yeah, it should be an enjoyment to come to work, but also we come here to work and work hard and work smart. So yeah, he said it's just, you know, the vibe, everybody, you know, they get it, the culture is good, the vibe is good in the building, everybody focused, and he praised it. So at the end of the day, I think that those words start to spread around the NFL, and players are gonna want to come here. I'm telling you. You know, and when you start with, the number one thing is, okay, you got a good culture, a culture, but when you start winning, then the brand deals start coming. Then you start, you know, getting this national spotlight, and with national spotlight come awards, come incentives in the contract, and come brand deals, and come endorsements, and extra money. And that's what you're missing when you come to Detroit. If we're not gonna win, I don't get those extra perks, so I got to charge you extra money just to come here and play, because I need that money that I'm missing out on the extra perks. That's what people got to understand. I'm missing out that money on the extra perks. So if you get spotlight, of course, players gonna come here and play on, you know, cheaper contracts, because they gonna make that money back outside of the football field with brand deals and opportunities, you know, to do things outside of football. So yeah, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. We go live and drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.